The Business Report, brought to you by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, a department of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, supporting young entrepreneurs from idea to enterprise.
In business tonight, government recognizes the importance of quality infrastructure to the island's economic and social development, and by extension to the development of CARICOM member states. And according to Minister of Small Business, Entrepreneurship and Commerce, Dwight Sutherland, some major improvements are coming soon to ensure that it becomes a reality. He made the comments as he addressed the 34th meeting of the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, or CROSSQ, at Baobab Towers.
We recognize that our national quality infrastructure is not yet fully developed, and to the extent we need a lot more work to be done on the national quality infrastructure, and indeed we have started the work. So for the year 2019-2020, the Barbados National Standards Institute and CROSSQ will indeed ensure that we fully develop, as a policy initiative, the national quality infrastructure. Our government considers this goal as an urgent and a very high priority in our efforts to enhance national competitiveness of our local micro, small and medium enterprise businesses.
Minister Sutherland adds that one major aim of the proposed national quality infrastructure policy will be to improve the export competitiveness of the island's goods and services.
So the national quality infrastructure policy will also serve to defend our domestic and regional borders from inferior, hazardous and illicit goods and services, and indeed that's very important as well. It is also our government's objective to use the application of the national quality infrastructure to rebuild Barbados's economic, socially and environmentally policies in a sustainable manner.
Now, it is still subject to government approval, but the Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., William Billy Griffith, is looking forward to a planned new direct Caribbean airline service between Jamaica and Barbados. Caribbean Airlines has announced the proposed start of non-stop service between Kingston, Jamaica and Barbados from next Monday, April 15th, with flights planned for weekly Monday and Friday service. Mr. Griffith says they're looking forward to the additional 300 seats the new service from Jamaica will bring. He says last year alone there were 9,000 arrivals from Jamaica, and that was up 2.2% over 2017, demonstrating that market's potential for growth. Caribbean Airlines Chief Executive Officer Garvin Madeira says the launch of the twice-weekly non-stop service is in direct response to feedback from its customers. And it's time now to take a look at how those stocks traded on selected exchanges across our region.
First up, Jamaica, where with Single Group Limited ordinary shares was the volume leader with 1,218,301 units at $11.48 each. And they were followed by Carreras Limited and Radio Jamaica Limited. In Trinidad and Tobago, Sagicor Financial Corporation Limited was the volume leader with 130,100 shares changing hands for a value of $1,106,681, and they were followed by JMMB Group Limited and Trinidad and Tobago NGL Limited. And here in Barbados, Goddard Enterprises Limited was the volume leader, trading 2,600 shares at $3.25 each. And they were followed by Cape Shepherd and Company Limited and the Insurance Corporation of Barbados Limited.
And it's time now for Water Wednesdays.
It is the liquid of life. We all need it to survive. Water, choose water first. Water, we all know it is precious. Should be enjoyed by all of us. Talking about water, choose water first. Water.
Water Wednesdays, we are still on the South Coast here with Nicole Austin, the Industrial Waste Inspector, inspecting what are some of these grease traps along the South Coast. And we are giving you some tips about what you can look out for as a business owner or as a homeowner for when your grease trap is clean. You hire people to clean your grease traps. You want to make sure the job is done right. So Nicole, you've been doing your inspections and you've been getting feedback from homeowners and businesses about what their clean grease traps look like, but you've been getting varying stories.
Yeah. What I've found is that persons just use the vacuum truck to vacuum out the liquid and the solids on the inside, but they're not scraping down the walls. They're not making sure that within the pipe itself is clear of fat cells and grease deposits that cling to the pipe, and the down pipe on the T must be extended down to almost the bottom of the chambers. What you have is that when it is shorter, when it is cut short, the grease, because the grease floats to the top, the grease will be the first thing leaving the grease trap. So you don't want that. You want just the water, because only the water will come up and go through the pipes as we see them here. And you also want to make sure that the water is taking the longest time possible to get out. So in this grease trap, for example, this will be the entrance from the kitchen sink. So then when it comes in here, it goes down, it will fill up. But as it's filling up, because of the pipe extension, only the water will come up through that pipe over there. So if that pipe was located over here, then that will be a shorter time from this going from this chamber into this chamber. But because this pipe is located on this end of this chamber, it now will take this time before it will flow over.
Right,
so
from this chamber to this chamber, then to this one, and finally
yes,
this
so
one, which will lead to the storage system.
right, that one, it will lead to the storage system. So when I come to on my inspections, I'm making sure that the water takes its time to get out, because the longer it stays in here, the grease will settle and form that mat. If it's a liquid, it will float and go out. Exactly. So we want it take its time in here, so that when you are doing your maintenance checks, you come and look and see how the grease is forming within your chambers.
Homeowners as well should check every week?
Not every week. They're not as, usually you're not as busy. The commercial ones, yes. At the same time you're doing your carrying out to the garbage and everything, checking for rodents and cockroaches, you check and make sure that your grease trap is not also harboring, pests as well as fat cells and grease to that extent. I want to also make sure when I come to check inspection, I look down in each T to make sure that the water leaving from here to here is not full of grease. It's not greasy water coming, but that the water leaving, and especially this last chamber going to the sewer, is just water. And then what you look for is that the first chamber is usually more full of fat cells and grease. This one has in less amount.
So it's like an automatic filtration.
Yes, by the time it gets there, it's just mainly water going out. And we also want to make sure that when you do hire someone, that you have someone available on the property to make sure, to look and see that they are doing the right job.
We really hope that you paid attention and that you're playing your part and that you continue to watch Water Wednesdays. To view this or a previous episode again, please visit our website, www.barbadoswaterauthority.com. You can go to our Facebook page for additional information, or just type Water Wednesdays and go to our YouTube channel. You can find us there.